we'll do that, Alligator Jack. Well, maybe if you... I might replace the RAM, yeah. Well, if you have 4 gigabytes of RAM, it should work fine. You know, it could also be that your processor, I'm not quite sure when you last replaced the cool paste of your PC.
Nothing there.
Which could also be a factor that your PC is overheating at some point, you know. So maybe check out if the cool paste is still working, or if it's still there, because on average you have to replace the cool paste once every year and a half, to make it work smoothly, you know, so that the components of your PC is not getting overheated, overburned, etc. So, you know, that also might causes issues. Maybe if you reinstall the PC, maybe there are viruses on there, you know, that prevents the game from running smoothly. It's also possible. There could be multiple reasons of why it ain't running, but it should run, you know. It should at the very least lag free. It also depends, do you have the game on high settings or low settings. Just give me a moment, Alligator Jack. You will wait there, right? Don't go away with me booty. I always use silver. Arctic silver, I think it's called. I'm not quite sure. But, you know, it is a very good idea to, you know, on average you can make it longer, you know. You could do it once every 2 years or once every 3 years, but the thing is that the more you use as a PC, the more it will burn, you know. And also the thing is, if you implanted the cool paste on your PC and you don't use it efficiently, then the resistance of the cool paste is lower than if you use it fully, because the cool paste will cool your PC to the amount of extent that it is going to be used. I use it quite a lot, so when I will implant it about not next year but the year after that, you know, I might have to make sure that I'm using my PC to the fullest extent, to the max, to the core, you know, abuse it as much as possible. You use Linux. I currently have Windows 10. I'm not really, I haven't used much of Linux. I know a mate of mine who used Linux, but only as a secondary option, you know. It's not like that he would use Linux for the majority of reasons. But making this game work on Windows 10 was like hell, you know. Not really. All you have to do is Google around a bit, and it could also be, you know, and it might sound weird, but I'm not quite sure if you downloaded or installed community patches, fixes, bug fixes and such. That can also fix the whole issue thing, you know. But 1 more gigabyte of RAM should most definitely do it. No, without a doubt, you know. Because I currently have 4 gigabytes of RAM. I have a bit of... This PC is not even 6 months old, you know. I bought it in about 2 months ago, 3 months ago nearly, I think. Maybe 4 max. So it's not really that old. Hey, where's Alligator Jack? But it was expensive feature, that's for sure, to purchase an entire new PC, but I needed it, you know. I needed it for streaming, I needed it for
there
YouTube.
Should be some of those beasts around here. Follow me.
Of Gothic 2 were there two patches. The community patch, the player kit, and there was something else, I think. I can check, let me check that out. 1 second. I'm gonna check out which patches did I install. Let him have some fun. This gonna take a couple of minutes, not even. Gothic 2 patches. I have the Gothic 2 Night of the Raven system pack, the Gothic 2 fix, and the Gothic 2 player kit, which are the 3 patches which I needed. Since you don't have Night of the Raven, or you do have it, if you do have it, install also Gothic 2 Night of the Raven system pack. If you don't have it, then install the sister pack of Gothic 2 itself, the Gothic 2 fix, and the Gothic 2 player kit. Heights of Power is to make the game harder, early game easier, late game, you know. Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the reasons why I purchased an entire new PC, you know, so I could stream, because that's eventually my dream job, you know. I want to make a living out of playing games. Well, who doesn't, to be honest. And, you know, Risen and Gothic is not the way to go when it comes to coming big. But...
wait a minute.
I was afraid of that.
What?
This handful of beasts here is only about half of what I need.
my PC is
we'll
not
have
well
to
entrenched yet for the higher games.
Watch out. It's
I can
very
handle them
dangerous
without
to
streaming,
can
you know, like
If you hold your
Skyrim,
life dear,
Witcher
stay
3,
very close.
Risen 3, and where is the... but in general I cannot combine streaming and playing the game at the same time. It requires a bit too much of my PC, so I slowly have to upgrade my PC. But I can upgrade to about 64 gigabyte of RAM, which is a whole lot more than enough. You took a shot of the fixes. You can do that. That's one way to do it. I can also type it for you if that is easier, you know. What is there in the canyon?
We avoid that area if it's at all possible. That's where you'll find razors. Tough beasts, those. Stay away from them if you want to live another day.
But those, you know, those fixes make sure that a high-end PC, especially of the newer generation, you know, the newer generation PCs will make sure that the game will be handleable. It will make sure that Steam will not give you constant messages of access violation and all that kind of bullshit. And it makes sure that your screen resolution and your video card are detected. As in, you know, if you have a 1440 by 900 screen like I do, normally in Gothic I would not be allowed to do that because it will be a bit too much. As in, you know, it will not detect that option because the game is older. But because of the fixes, yeah, World of Gothic, that's where I downloaded those patches in particular. But it made sure that my pretty new PC of this generation, maybe generation before, you know, as I would like to call it, a low budget gaming PC, it made sure that Steam was going to work. It made sure that Gothic on Steam would work, and certain bugs and certain issues have been fixed. And that's the beauty of Gothic, because even today people from Russia and people from Germany are upgrading it like a madman. And I even tried to install DirectX 11 mod for the Gothic, but that was a bit too much for my PC alongside with streaming, you know, a bit too much. Yeah, but that's because the game is from 2001, 2002, something like that. Gothic 1 was from 2001, so Gothic 2 is from 2003 or 2004, I'm not quite sure at the moment. But it worked for me, you know, it made sure that my game is running smoothly. I don't have everything currently on maxed, you know, but that's because like view distance and such requires your PC to generate a bit more, and alongside with streaming that's a bit too much, so I put my view distance and such a bit down, but all in all it works fine. So yeah, fine, let's go, Alligator.
Alright.
But I love these games, you know. The first time I played Gothic 2, instantly fell in love with the cover, with the dragons on the cover.
Nothing there.
Loved it. Played it, all 3 parts, loved it. And eventually I bought the whole bundle on Steam for about €12 back in the day, because it was in winter sale or summer sale, I can't remember. Gothic 1 also requires certain patches and fixes.
Come on.
Gothic 3 only requires the community patch, so that the mouse, you know, works like a charm, as it should, without difficulties.
You're not from around here, are you? You seem to have traveled far.
You seem to have traveled far. Oh.
I need...
Hey, the trees around here. You'll have to...
Hey.
Wait, man. What's your pickpocket here?
Busy?
Don't even ask. Henry wants me to chop down all the trees here.
Henry?
He's the leader of our troop. He stands around at the camp entrance all the time, talking big. More dedicated service to the community and all that crap. But he doesn't lift a finger himself.
And where is your camp?
Where's...
Just continue down this path here, to the west. You'll see Henry standing there soon enough.
And Henry is your leader?
Yes, the leader of our raiding troop. Our captain is Greg, but he's not here at the moment.
I need to move on.
Don't let those beasts eat you. This is a very dangerous place.
Yeah, no worries about me, man. I can handle myself. Yeah, this game, you know, the graphics are not all that great, but back in the day, it was beautiful. You know, it was high-end graphics, but it's not the graphics that makes a game great. It's the gameplay that makes a game great. And this game, this series in particular, got so good, strong in-game lore, which is just mind-blowing, even compared to the RPGs of today. You know, games of today are mostly focused on graphics, but they forget the higher the graphics, the more monstrous of a PC that you require to be able to handle it. You know, give a bit less of the graphics and get a bit less of, and a bit more of the gameplay. You know, but that's my opinion. Pitfall. Name does ring a bell, but lightly. Well, you know, it's not about graphics.
Well done.
Graphics are
You
nice,
knew someone
but
like
gameplay is
you
better,
brought down
I always
one
say.
of those beasts on your first hunt. Not bad. Here, take this swamp rat meat to lazy old Morgan. You'll find him in our camp. He's probably lounging on the beach somewhere. You'll be waiting for this. Henry usually guards the entrance to the camp and keeps a lookout for bandits. If he refuses to let you in, just tell him that I sent you. Maybe that'll make him a bit more sociable. Henry is a little too eager and a bit bossy too.
Tell me, Hartman. Can you teach me something?
Sure, I'm a good hunter, and I can show you how to skin animals and pull their teeth. I'll teach you if you like.
Teach me.
Teach.
What is it you want to learn?
Well, teach me how to remove skins of reptiles.
Always make the cut at the belly. or the quality will suffer.
Thanks, man. I already know the rest.
If you're looking for me, you'll usually find me near my camp in front of the palisade.
Palisades?
Just continue west from here and you'll see what I mean.
Let me check if I got the focus stone. I think I have. Didn't I pick up the next focus stone? That would be a total blunder. Yes, I did. Yokata. The PC components and companies and the games industry understand each other. When the game stays small, the industry does not sell new hardware. Yeah, but you know, JoWooD Productions and Deep Silver are not really that small, especially when it comes to Germany and especially when it comes to Russia. These games are highly well known in Russia and Germany, but that's understandable. You know, the developers, JoWooD Productions and Piranha Bytes, are German. You know, they're from Germany. What my eventual goal will be, you know, is to support them. I support any game developer, indie games and AAA games alike, you know. As long as the game is good, as long as the content is fun, it is all good for me. Right, so let's get the final focus stone. Where's the bugger? I think he's sleeping. Hey, Saturas? About the relics.
About the relics. What about this?
That looks good. Where'd you find that?
I found these tablets in a structure to the southwest.
Judging from the tablet,
Where are you from, by the way,
it has something
Hartman?
to do with the housing for the priests of the city. The name of the highest priest was Cardamon. We don't know much about him. Very good. The image of this city is becoming clearer, but we still don't know enough. In all, there must be 5 of this sort of stone tablet hidden around here. Find them and bring them to me. Here is some gold as a reward.
I'll see whether I can find anything.
Good, but hurry. Time is not our ally.
The only 2 I'm still missing is in
May
the
Adanos
desert,
protect you.
with all the orcs and flame devils inside, and the one with the bandits. You're from Germany. Understandable. Welcome, neighbor. I'm from the Netherlands myself. You know, not many people in the Netherlands know the Gothic games, or not, and those that do think it's a crappy game, but they never played it. You know, there is only a few people in the Netherlands that know the Gothic games, and it's bad. You know, it's too bad. This game deserves more credit than it currently gets, and a lot of people do know Gothic 3, and they're not really fond of it, you know. But play the other 2 games, Gothic 1 and Gothic 2, they are the golden ones of the series. Gothic 3 is still good, in my opinion, you know, but it's not as good as Gothic 1 and Gothic 2 when it comes to the in-game feeling. But Gothic 3, Forsaken Gods, and Gothic 4 were the terrible ones of the Gothic series, but nevertheless, I've seen better. I've seen worse, you know. I'm still gonna do the series. First of all, because I love the Gothic series, and second of all, I hope to eventually be able to push a bit more people towards the Gothic games. You know, I love the Gothic games in particular. Great games, a great storyline. Not as high-end graphics, you know. You heard that, yeah, well, I know you did. But that's personal opinion, you know. A lot of people that I know from Germany, and a lot of people that I know, especially from Germany, I know a couple of people from Russia, but that was because of my streaming. Not many of them liked Gothic 3 Forsaken Gods, and not many of them like Gothic 4, you know. I can understand that. Gothic 4 is, compared to the other Gothic games, a relatively small game. and it's not the best game that I've seen from JoWooD Productions. Forsaken Gods was supposed to be an expansion, but it's not an expansion, it's the missing part. You don't know many gamers. Well, the internet is full of them, mate. But Forsaken Gods, was supposed to be an expansion. It is not an expansion. Night of the Raven is an expansion because it adds content to the in-game itself. Forsaken Gods starts where Gothic 3 ends, and that's not what I call an expansion. I still love it. I still love Gothic 3 Forsaken Gods. I still love Gothic 4, but they were not as good as Gothic 1, Gothic 2, and Gothic 3. The best of the best Gothic games that I know, in my opinion, what the best Gothic game would be is Gothic 2 and Gothic 1, hands down, of the entire series. But the other games is good as well. I've seen way worse RPGs than the Gothic series in particular, and it's also one of the reasons why I will stream the whole series, because I don't hold a grudge against JoWooD Productions for Gothic 3's early release. It was not finished when they released it, it's true. And that's when they came with Forsaken Gods. They said it was an expansion. It was not really an expansion. It continues where Gothic 3 left off. And Gothic 4 was just horrible. But I still love it. The reason why I still love it is because despite the fact that the game was not all that great, the in-game lore still connects to its previous games, and that is what is important to me as in this series. Gothic 1 connects to Gothic 2, Gothic 2 connects to Gothic 3, Gothic 3 connects to Gothic 3 Forsaken Gods, and Gothic 3 Forsaken Gods connects to Gothic 4. And that's what I love about the Gothic games. The in-game lore, the gold. The cream of the crop is the in-game lore in the Gothic series. I have activated the fourth, another one of the teleporter stones,
Give
the
me the
fourth
next
one.
focus.
Of course. Here it is. Here are a
Last
few
one.
gold coins.
For the swamp area with the bandits. As you can see, I've activated all of them. In the valley, the canyon, this one. Alright, so let's go to the pirates camp. I also love the Risen series, which is from Deep Silver, who work together. I. Oh shit. Oh, no way in hell. No. Goodbye! I don't think Cronos has any more potions for me to purchase. But eventually, I will beat Risen, all three Risen games. I've got them all three on Steam. Risen 1, Risen 2, and Risen 3 on all three paths. Never completed Risen 2 before and never played Risen 3 before, but I will complete it on all possible paths. Gothic, I played all the Gothic games and I will beat them all on all three paths. As I would like to prefer to call it to the servants of the gods, Enos, Adanos, and Bowyer. This particular one is the servant of Adanos, and I love it. I love the in-game lore. I love the in-game content. It's enjoyable to play. It's a huge game. The in-game lore is just gold, and all in all, RPGs of today should look at games like this and use it as an example, because this game, this series in particular, is just mind-blowing. It's just insane what they did, even though this game is like 10 years plus old. Even today it is better than some of the graphical games, the RPG games of today, you know, hands down. And that's what I love about the Gothic series. The game might be old, but it's still good. It's still gold. It's still magnificent, you know. And a lot of developers should look at these games, get the ideas from there. Because if you make a series like the Call of Duty games, oh, what did I sell? You know, always make sure it sticks to the lore, and that's the only thing that it has to stick to. You know, the lore, the in-game lore, because that is what a series makes a series. It's not about graphics, you know, it's not about, oh, beautiful, you know, realistic, oh, I love this game, it's just so realistic, you know. That's not the point. It's about the gameplay itself. And I will play as many games as I possibly can. The more games I can play, the better. But, you know, I will beat every game that I possibly can on the highest difficulty. Although I used a bit of modding. You know, same with Gothic 2, I use a mod called Heights of Power, which makes the game harder early game, because the critters have been extended with damage, the critters have been extended with HP, but also experience. The damage is more, but late game, OP as fuck. I'm still in chapter 2, I'm already level 30, I have 120 strength and 137 dexterity, 71 mana, you know. I'm OP already. But that's what Heights of Power do to you, you know. It rewards you more for the gameplay, it rewards you more for questing, it rewards you more with leveling, and I love it. You know, it makes the game easier late game, but so hard early. Because even in, you know, the best sample that I can give with the difference of Heights of Power, you know the cave near Zardas' tower, right? The one with the young field raiders. Those field raiders you can normally kill with a fire arrow in vanilla Gothic. And with Heights of Power, even the fireball does not kill them. It nearly kills them, but it does not kill them. And if we're gonna compare fire arrow to fire arrow, you know, 25 damage. A fireball deals 75 damage, which is triple the number of damage, and it still doesn't kill them. So that shows how hardcore challenge, how hard Heights of Power makes the game, you know. But of course, if you do a lot of questing like I do, you know, before joining a site, make sure to do as much quests as you could possibly do along the way, then it will be child's play, you know, to play this game. Especially late game. But if you play it by vanilla, it is way harder to get your dexterity, it's way harder to get your strength, it is way harder to get everything that your character wants in a full build, you know. What I will get eventually, you know, strength is already maxed out. I don't need more than 120 strength for the best weapon of the game. I need about 200 dexterity, which is the ultimate goal of dex. I don't need it, but it's the ultimate goal. Two-handed weapons must be at 100%, and bow must be at 100%. There's no way you can get that in vanilla Gothic. No possible way. You can get one of them at 100%, but that's about it. You know. And trainers only train to about 90%. Without Knight of the Raven, you can't get to 100. Fuck off, bandit. There you go. You hacked one advanced snapper with 2 strokes. Sometimes it takes 4 for a normal. You mean the correct me if I'm wrong, but you mean the snapper leader in the valley? I think, at any rate. But he is stronger than a regular, than a regular snapper. Now for me, you know, I shoot them with 2 shots with my bow. If I'm facing a snapper head to head, you know, I have to knock him down about, well, actually hit him about 4 to 5 times, and my damage with my blade is 120 damage, you know, with a one-handed sword. Now this one-handed sword will ultimately be replaced with a two-handed sword, which is a master two-hander. It requires 120 dex and 120 strength, and deals about 220 damage. It is the strongest weapon of the game. It's even stronger than the Claw of Beliar, and that blade is just OP, you know.